Let's talk for a moment about agile contracting models. Just like we've seen other shifts in the agile workflow and in the agile workspace, another shift that I've seen and recognized is that agile contracts are taking on a new approach. What we saw in the past was a lot of fixed price models. We saw a lot of, this is what you get, this is the price, and that's it. And what we're starting to see is a shift in the way organizations want to engage with agile contractors and with companies that are implementing agile inside of their organizations. So I wanted to talk a little bit about three or four different things, probably three. It's all we're going to have time for. Three different things that we see that are starting to come into agile contracts that weren't necessarily there in a traditional mindset of a contract. So I guess we'll wrap this up by calling it the top three things that we're seeing in agile contracting models that are helping change the way contracts look and feel. Let's talk about the first one. So agile contracts are designed to allow for greater flexibility. And what I mean by that is a lot of organizations are leaning into the fact that they're going with more of a change management mindset, meaning that as long as we have change management and quality management in place, they may not know exactly what they're looking for, exactly what they want to do, but they're looking for someone to help them implement incrementally so that they can pivot and make adjustments. So we're starting to see the contract exhibit the flexibility in saying, as long as we're moving towards the end goal and we're making progress that's measurable, we are meeting the needs of the governing contract, which is really, really interesting, especially in a government setting where we're starting to see some of this flexibility that wasn't there before. So instead of it being a bulleted list of all the things that we need to do, we're starting to see this increased flexibility, which I love. By the way, I think it's just incredible. I think it's where we need to be, and I think it's where we should have been all along. All right, let's talk about number two. Number two is a shared risk model. Now, this is interesting. Because we have flexibility, it's important to point out that we need to share the risk of if we make a decision and it's the wrong decision and we have to pivot, and that we're not going to point fingers and hold each other accountable for it. We're going to have this shared risk, meaning that if something does go well, there's going to be a great reward. If something doesn't go well, we're going to both take on that risk and understand what we can do to work together going forward to prevent the risk from happening again. This ties into the quality management piece that I was talking about before. We're starting to see organizations get away from hidden factory models where they're making the same mistakes over and over again and lean in towards what can we do to make a difference that's going to be impactful, that's going to help us as an organization be successful without constantly just rewinding back to the it's your fault model finger pointing. We need to get to the point where we have shared risk. Okay, and let me get to the last one. So number three, we're going to keep it short and sweet here. Number three is the iterative delivery model. And what I mean by that is before we used to see this is the deadline we need it by and this is the cutoff, and whatever gets delivered then is what we're measuring against. What we're starting to see inside of contracts now is a more iterative approach to release governance, to change management. And we're starting to see that organizations are really digging in on the iterative delivery approach, moving away from the traditional fixed price, fixed workflow models. So we're starting to see organizations say, okay, we will accept partial delivery of this, and we will accept a delivery of a subset of features as long as we know we're moving towards the common goal. And what I can tell you is these organizations that are doing this are at an incredible advantage compared to all the others, because we're starting to see that the organizations that are leaning in on the more heavily agile contracting models are the ones that are having greater flexibility and greater performance, and they're yielding better products and services with higher quality. So it's a win-win-win across the board. But the question is, have you approached your contracting in general and made it more agile? Have you looked at ways to streamline and make sure that you're focused on flexibility, shared risk, iterative delivery, all those things that are going to help you be successful in your implementation of Agile within your company? If you do those things and make those small shifts and small changes, I can promise you're going to have greater success with your Agile implementation. That's going to do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care. Bye now.